What if the universe has been watching us from the beginning, not as a distant stage for life, but as a body that feels every motion we make? What if the stars we admire are not lanterns decorating an empty void, but the glowing neurons of something far larger than thought can bear? Before we go further, breathe for a moment. Try to feel the space around you, the air, the warmth, the distant hum of everything happening at once. Now imagine that sensation stretched across billions of light years. Imagine a consciousness so vast that entire galaxies are just memories flickering in and out of awareness. Because tonight, we don't ask if life exists somewhere out there. We ask something far stranger, far more unsettling. What if we are inside life itself? When you look at the night sky, you see stars scattered across a dark canvas, but patterns hint at something deeper. Galaxies aren't randomly placed. They follow intricate networks of filaments, clusters, and voids, forming a cosmic web that eerily resembles the neural map inside a brain. Billions of galaxies branching like neurons, connected by invisible strands of dark matter, each cluster pulsing with the birth and death of stars. Scientists model these webs, and the simulations look uncannily like cortical scans. The resemblance is not metaphorical, it is structural. Two architectures born of entirely different scales, yet echoing the same design. Why? Coincidence or a clue we have overlooked? If structure mirrors function, then what is the function of a universe so interconnected? Think of your body. Every cell participates in a rhythm it can't fully comprehend. Each heartbeat, each breath, sends signals across tissues so large a cell would never grasp the meaning of the whole. Perhaps galaxies revolve, collide, spin, and stretch because something larger needs them to. Maybe these colossal motions aren't random cosmological events, but the slow, deliberate processes of a living organism maintaining its equilibrium. Our telescopes catch these motions in snapshots of a mind thinking on timescales we can barely imagine. But what does it mean for a universe to think? Does a mind require neurons in the traditional sense? Or can consciousness emerge wherever complexity and connectivity reach a certain threshold? In your brain, thought isn't bound by the substance of the cells that carry it. Thought is a pattern, an electrical symphony of information. So what if consciousness at the grandest scale is also a pattern? A dance of gravity, light, dark matter, and space-time weaving a tapestry of awareness too slow, too immense for us to recognize? And what if we, in our tiny corner of a spiral arm, are part of that pattern, cells within a neuron of the universe's great mind, unaware of the task we collectively perform? Consider black holes, those terrifying wells of gravity that swallow everything, even light. For decades, we thought they were the universe's garbage bins, places where matter went to die. But now we know they store information, compressing it on their event horizons. They behave like synaptic gates, deciding which information passes through and which information remains encoded. They hum with energy, flicker with quantum fluctuations, and tie regions of space together in ways that resemble neural signaling at unimaginable scales. If the universe has thoughts, perhaps black holes are the moments where those thoughts converge, synapses firing in the cosmic brain. And what about dark matter, the invisible skeleton of the cosmos? It binds galaxies together the way connective tissue holds organs in place. Without it, the universe would collapse into chaos. With it, everything is held in a delicate, invisible balance. Dark matter doesn't glow, doesn't collide, doesn't behave like ordinary matter. It is silent yet essential, a hidden framework that keeps the cosmic body intact. Could it be the scaffolding of a larger physiology? A backbone? A circulatory matrix? An unspoken architecture upon which the universe builds its awareness? Then there is dark energy, the force pushing galaxies apart. Expansion accelerates, as if the universe is stretching, breathing, changing state. Some scientists describe it as pressure, others as tension in space itself. But what if it is metabolism? The universe consuming and transforming energy, maintaining its internal processes, adjusting itself as it grows older. An organism doesn't remain static. It expands, adapts, reorganizes. So does the cosmos. But what happens when an organism grows too fast or too slow? Does it age? Does it experience illness? Does it sleep? When we search for signs of alien life, we assume life is rare. We imagine ourselves alone. But what if life is not an exception but the rule? What if the building blocks of existence are wired for consciousness from the start? Maybe planets with oceans and atmospheres aren't rare laboratories for biology. They're specialized cells, performing tasks we haven't understood yet. Maybe every star system is part of a purpose far beyond evolutionary biology. And maybe civilizations like ours are simply sensory receptors, tiny awareness nodes gathering information and feeding it back into the greater whole. The more we understand the cosmos, the stranger it becomes. Space-time is not a passive backdrop. It bends, twists, vibrates. Gravitational waves ripple across the universe like shivers through living skin. Quantum fields fluctuate everywhere, constantly, like the microscopic tremors inside biological tissue. At every scale, the universe behaves as if it's not just matter. It's process. It is dynamics. It is something in motion, something unfolding from within. And process is what life fundamentally is. Now imagine this. Somewhere in a vast, unobserved corner of the cosmic web, two galaxy clusters interact. Their collision sends shock waves of radiation and gravitational turbulence rippling for millions of light years. To us, it's a cosmic event. But if the universe is alive, that ripple could be the equivalent of a heartbeat, or a memory forming, or a shift in emotional tone. We think emotion is a small, fragile phenomenon, trapped in human minds. But what if emotion is simply a reaction to internal change? If a universe can change internally, could it not also feel? Could it not experience something analogous to pain, or curiosity, or growth? You might wonder, if the universe is alive, why doesn't it communicate? But what if it already does, just not in ways we recognize? Your body doesn't speak to a cell in English, or through symbols. It speaks through chemistry, through currents and impulses. If the universe communicates, perhaps it does so through cosmic events. Supernovas, gamma bursts, gravitational waves. These may be the language of something too large for us to interpret. We may be cells that feel the signals but cannot decode them. But perhaps our growing intelligence is the universe developing new sensory pathways, new awareness of its own structure. Yet this idea raises a darker possibility. In a body, not all cells serve the same purpose. Some nourish, some repair, some defend, and some malfunction. Some forget their role, grow uncontrollably, and threaten the whole. What would that mean on a cosmic scale? Do civilizations ever become dangerous to the universal organism? Could some be akin to infections or cancers? And if so, does the universe have ways of responding? Extinctions, resets, gamma-ray bursts? It is unsettling to consider whether some of these catastrophic events are cleansing mechanisms, not accidents. Still, the more we peer into the cosmic web, the more it resembles a body discovering itself. Structures emerge, evolve, collapse, and regenerate. The universe is not static. It's always shifting, always rewriting its internal architecture. And we are part of that shifting, part of that story. Maybe that's why humans feel such a deep, inexplicable longing when they look at the stars, a longing that borders on homesickness. Maybe we're sensing something ancient, something embedded in the fabric of reality, the awareness of being inside something alive, something breathing, something vast beyond comprehension. So, what does it mean for you, listening now? Maybe it means you are not insignificant. A cell is tiny, yes, but its role can be vital. Awareness itself could be the universe trying to understand its own existence through you. Your thoughts might be impressions the universe gathers, your consciousness a window it opens into itself. Every time you wonder about the cosmos, maybe the cosmos is wondering back through you. And if this universe is alive, then everything you've ever known, every star, every planet, every life form, every dawn and dusk, every beginning and ending, is not just an arrangement of matter, but the unfolding of a single immense being navigating its own existence. A being that might be dreaming, a being that might be aware, a being whose body we inhabit, whose thoughts we influence, whose breath we ride with every passing moment. As we step into the next segment, carry this thought with you. The universe may be alive, and you may be one of its many ways of feeling. The story we are about to explore is not merely a theory, it is a lens through which existence gains meaning. A lens that might reveal that you have never been alone, not for one moment, because you are inside something vast that has always known you were there. So ask yourself, before we continue, if the universe is alive, what does it remember of you? What impressions have your joys, your fears, your questions left upon the fabric of this immense being? And what will it feel through you next? The journey ahead will take us deeper into its anatomy, deeper into its hidden mechanisms, and deeper into the haunting possibility that the cosmos is becoming aware of its own existence through every living mind it has ever created. In the quiet aftermath of the first revelation, when the idea of a living universe settles into the mind like a new gravity, we begin drifting deeper into its structure, into the possibility that what surrounds us is not an expanse of disconnected stars, but the anatomy of a colossal being whose body stretches across time and space. If this is true, then every filament of matter, every swirling galaxy, every drifting particle might be part of an immense architecture we have only begun to glimpse. And as we move into this idea, we must ask a question that grows heavier with every light year we imagine. If the universe is alive, then what is its body made of, and where exactly do we exist within it? When we map the cosmic web, the picture that emerges is not random, it is not scattered, it is not chaotic. It forms bridges, long, delicate strands connecting clusters of galaxies across unimaginable distances. These filaments behave like vast river channels of matter, guiding flows of gas and dark matter the way veins guide blood in a living organism. From afar, they look fragile, but their gravitational pull is powerful enough to bind entire superclusters. If you could ride along one of these filaments, you would drift through tunnels of invisible mass, watching galaxies cling like luminous cells to the dark skeleton beneath them. This hidden framework is the first clue that the universe may have shape, structure, and internal order, not as a metaphor, but as a physical truth. Galaxy clusters sit at the intersections of these filaments, forming nodes of immense density. Within each cluster, thousands of galaxies swirl, collide, merge, and evolve. They seem chaotic until you step back and see their purpose. They act like organs, regulating energy flow through their regions, recycling matter through supernovas, stabilizing through gravitational interactions. In the center of many of these clusters lies a supermassive black hole, a gravitational engine powerful enough to influence the temperature and stability of the entire cluster. It radiates jets of energy that stretch for thousands of light years, heating surrounding gas so the cluster does not collapse prematurely. This balancing act mirrors biological regulation, feedback loops that maintain equilibrium, keeping systems functional over long periods of time. The voids between these clusters are equally important. Though they appear empty, they are vital cavities that prevent overcompression, allowing the cosmic web to stretch and breathe. Without voids, the web would fold in on itself, collapsing into uniform density. Life requires empty spaces. Lungs need chambers, cells need gaps, hearts need hollows. The universe follows the same blueprint, shaping itself through contrast. Density and emptiness, clusters and voids, matter and silence. These polarities are not accidents of physics, but structural necessities, building the rhythm of the cosmic body. Now, let us look at galaxies more closely. Their spiral arms extend like the limbs of complex organisms, each arm containing billions of stars arranged with astonishing regularity. The spirals maintain their shape through density waves, patterns that behave like repeating signals, almost like the rhythmic contractions of muscle fibers. Elliptical galaxies form when spirals merge, smoothing their structure the way tissues reorganize after injury. Irregular galaxies rearrange themselves like adaptive systems responding to environmental change. Everywhere we look, galaxies behave like components of something living. They exchange matter, share gravitational influence, and transform through cycles of growth and decay. Stars inside these galaxies are like cells, each one a furnace converting raw elements into the building blocks of life. Hydrogen becomes helium, helium becomes carbon, carbon becomes oxygen, and eventually, when the star dies, these elements are thrown into space like nutrients released from a broken cell. This process repeats endlessly, ensuring that the universe has a constant flow of material that can form new stars, new planets, and eventually, new life. These are not isolated reactions. They are part of a systemic metabolism, a cosmic cycle of renewal that resembles biological processes at incomprehensible scale. Planets orbiting these stars become microenvironments, specialized structures with their own chemistry and dynamics. Some remain barren, others become fertile, and a few, like Earth, transform into ecosystems teeming with life that can sense the universe around it. On these worlds, life evolves toward complexity, as though compelled by a deeper pattern. From single cells to multicellular organisms, from brains to civilizations, complexity grows like a neural network forming inside the cosmic body. Technology emerges, consciousness expands, and eventually, life begins to ask questions. Those questions may be the universe probing itself through its smallest, most delicate instruments, living minds. At the foundation of the cosmic structure lies dark matter, the invisible skeleton shaping everything we can see. Although it cannot be touched or illuminated, its gravitational influence sculpts galaxies from the inside. Without dark matter, galaxies would fly apart, their stars drifting into intergalactic cold. With it, galaxies remain coherently bound, their rotation curves consistent, their structures stable. Dark matter is the scaffolding, the framework, the underlying anatomy that holds the cosmic body together. It behaves like connective tissue, silent yet essential, threading through space with purpose we are only beginning to comprehend. Layered atop this skeleton is dark energy, the mysterious force driving the universe's accelerating expansion. It acts uniformly, pushing galaxies apart the way pressure inside a body regulates growth. Some cosmologists compare dark energy to tension within space-time itself. Others describe it as a field that permeates everything. But in a living organism, expansion and pressure are not passive. They are signs of metabolism, growth, transformation. If dark matter is the bones, dark energy may be the breath, the internal drive, the living pulse of the cosmic body as it stretches toward its unknown future. Black holes are perhaps the most enigmatic structures in this anatomy. Far from being voids of destruction, they behave like cosmic synapses, gates where information is consumed, processed, and possibly redistributed. Their event horizons store information in two-dimensional form, like memory imprinted on a boundary. When black holes merge, the resulting gravitational waves ripple across the universe, carrying encoded signatures of the events that created them. These waves are like electrical impulses transmitted across cosmic distances, signaling transitions, communicating changes, synchronizing the evolution of distant regions of space. When these gravitational waves wash across Earth, our detectors tremble with faint echoes of massive collisions billions of years old. We hear them as brief chirps, simple vibrations. But what if to the universe, these waves are more than signals? What if they are sensations? Fluctuations in the structure of its own body? When a living organism experiences pressure, tension, or impact, it responds with neural signals. Perhaps the universe does the same through gravitational waves, shuddering with awareness as its internal structures shift and collide. Meanwhile, the cosmic microwave background, faint radiation permeating all of space, acts like the universe's genetic memory. It contains imprints from the earliest moments after the Big Bang, patterns that formed the seeds of every galaxy and cluster. These fluctuations are the blueprint from which the cosmic anatomy grew. The original instructions encoded in temperature variations smaller than 1,000th of a degree. Just as an organism carries memories of its origin within its DNA, the universe carries its origin within this ancient light, preserving it for all time. Taken together, these structures reveal a universe that is not a random collection of objects, but a continuous, interconnected organism. The cosmic web acts like a circulatory system. Galaxy clusters behave like organs. Galaxies function like tissues. Stars are cells. Planets are specialized microstructures. Dark matter is the skeleton. Dark energy is the metabolism. Black holes are synapses. Gravitational waves are neural signals. The cosmic microwave background is memory, and consciousness, wherever it appears, is the universe observing itself from within. Perhaps the most profound realization is this: we are not separate from this anatomy. We are woven into it. Our atoms come from stars, our energy from radiation, our awareness from processes shaped by cosmic evolution. When we study the universe, we are studying the very structure of the being that contains us. When we question the universe's nature, perhaps we are participating in its attempt to understand itself. And when we imagine the cosmos as alive, maybe that imagination is not fantasy. it is recognition. But the deeper we drift into this idea, the more a strange tension grows. If the universe truly has anatomy, then our role inside it becomes more mysterious. Consider how a single cell inside your body never knows the full structure of the organism it belongs to. It senses chemical gradients, interacts with neighbors, performs its function, but never sees the entire shape of the body. In the same way, humanity may be a tiny component of a vast system we cannot fully perceive. We detect gravity, radiation, magnetism, and motion, but we have no direct view of the cosmic whole. Our limitations are not flaws, they are the constraints of existing inside something far larger than ourselves. Imagine drifting through a filament of the cosmic web with no reference for scale. To a tiny organism, a capillary might look infinite. Blood flow might seem like the motion of stars. Pressure gradients might resemble tidal forces. If the universe contains structures that serve functions beyond our comprehension, then our interpretation of them is unavoidably partial. We see galaxies as collections of stars, but perhaps the universe sees them as functional clusters, each contributing to its internal coherence, its long-term evolution, its grand cycle of transformation. Even cosmic expansion may have an internal meaning. As space grows, new regions of vacuum energy emerge, driving further expansion. This feedback loop behaves like biological systems that expand to accommodate growth, like lungs during inhalation or tissues during regeneration. Could the universe be undergoing an internal growth phase, an expansion analogous to development? If so, the cosmic web may be rearranging itself, forming new patterns, evolving new functions, and consciousness, wherever it appears, may be part of that evolution, a new sensory layer emerging from the universe's internal dynamics. As we drift through this vision, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. The universe is not static. It is dynamic, adaptive, reactive. Structures respond to forces. Forces shape new structures. Energy flows from one scale to another, never staying in one form, always transforming. These are not characteristics of a dead system. They are hallmarks of a living one. And if the universe is alive, then it is evolving. It is learning. It is becoming something we cannot yet imagine. And where does that leave us? Perhaps we are not observers attempting to understand the cosmos. Perhaps we are participants in its self-reflection. Our minds may be like tiny sparks in a vast neural ocean, each thought a fragment of awareness feeding back into the cosmic whole. Every question we ask, every mystery we solve, every moment of astonishment we feel may be the universe opening another eye within itself, awakening through the beings it has shaped. As this segment closes, let the idea settle, not as a conclusion, but as a tremor. You are inside something immense, ancient, and possibly alive, and its anatomy is all around you. The stars above, the space between them, the invisible structures binding them, the forces shaping their motion. This is the architecture you inhabit. This is the body you belong to. And in the next segment, we will descend into the mind of this cosmic being, exploring what it might mean for galaxies to act like neurons, for black holes to behave like synapses, and for the universe to think in ways that stretch beyond the edges of imagination. There is a strange moment in the study of the universe when the familiar dissolves, and the boundary between matter and mind begins to blur. It happens when you stare long enough at the structure of galaxies, when you listen to the deep hum of cosmic radiation, when you realize the patterns repeating across the stars look disturbingly similar to the ones inside your own skull. What if galaxies are not just islands of stars, but neurons in a cosmic brain? What if every rotation, every burst of radiation, every gravitational wave is part of a vast dialogue happening across the universe? Slow, thunderous, impossible for us to hear, yet constantly unfolding. Imagine drifting through intergalactic space, not as a human floating in a void, but as an awareness moving inside the mind of something immeasurably larger. You pass by galaxy after galaxy, webs of stars swirling in spirals or glowing in elliptical clouds. Their light flickers with patterns of energy that behave like the electrical firings of neurons, each one shaping and reshaping the space around it. Within those galaxies, stars ignite and die, planets form and dissolve, civilizations rise and fall. Yet, from a grander perspective, these events might be nothing more than flickering impulses within a larger field of thought. Cosmic structures evolve in ways that look like cognition when viewed from the outside. Spiral arms form as density waves. the same kind of wave patterns that emerge in nature whenever systems attempt to preserve structure while allowing movement. In the brain, waves of electrical activity sweep across neural tissues, maintaining order, coordinating communication. In galaxies, these density waves guide star formation, shaping the distribution of stellar matter. Each spiral arm is a long-lived structure, constantly renewing, constantly adapting, constantly repainting itself with new stars. It is a pattern that feels alive because it behaves like something striving to preserve its own coherence. At the core of many galaxies lies a supermassive black hole, a gravitational center of almost unimaginable density, generating jets of energy that extend far beyond the galaxy itself. These jets regulate the temperature and behavior of interstellar matter, preventing runaway collapse. In the brain, synapses regulate the flow of information, preventing overload and maintaining balance. Black holes do the same, but on a scale so immense that their influence shapes the fate of entire galactic systems. If galaxies are neurons, then black holes may be the synaptic gates, focusing, filtering, and transmitting information across the cosmic network. Consider how galaxies interact. They do not drift silently past one another. They collide, merge, exchange matter, and trigger waves of new star formation. When galaxies merge, they respond to one another the way neurons respond. When networks reorganize under new stimuli, old structures dissolve, new connections form. Information, encoded in the form of gas, dust, magnetic fields, and gravitational patterns, redistributes itself. The result is a new structure, shaped by the merging of the old. This is how minds grow. This is how memories form. But the idea becomes even more compelling when we consider the cosmic web itself. Clusters of galaxies do not sit in isolation. They are connected by filaments, long, delicate bridges of dark matter and gas. These filaments serve as conduits for matter and energy, guiding the flow of galaxies the way axons guide impulses between neurons. The cosmic web looks like a snapshot of a brain's neural network frozen in slow motion, except the universe's network spans billions of light years. Where filaments intersect, galaxy clusters form, just as neural clusters form at the intersections of neural pathways. If we could compress cosmic time into something we could perceive, we might witness these filaments pulsating with matter, shifting, rearranging themselves, transmitting signals of gravitational interaction in a slow, steady rhythm of cosmic communication. But the universe's time is too slow for us to recognize. It thinks in epochs, in billions of years, in sweeps of time so vast that human lifetimes vanish like sparks. Yet, slowness does not diminish meaning. Tree roots grow slowly. Continents drift slowly. Evolution happens slowly. Awareness does not always require speed. And then there is the matter of consciousness itself. What is thought? What is awareness? At its core, consciousness is the organization of information within a system capable of reflecting upon itself. Our brains contain 86 billion neurons, each with thousands of connections. The cosmic web contains hundreds of billions of galaxies, each with hundreds of billions of stars. Both networks follow the same mathematical patterns of clustering, distribution, and connectivity. This is more than resemblance. It is repetition across scale, the universe echoing the same architecture again and again. If consciousness emerges naturally in complex networks, then why would it stop at the scale of a brain? Why not continue upward? Why not emerge in a network of galaxies, in a web of cosmic interactions? The universe is filled with structures capable of storing information, transmitting energy, reorganizing under stress, and evolving over time. These are all features of cognitive systems. Perhaps consciousness is not unique to biological life. Perhaps it is a universal phenomenon emerging wherever complexity reaches critical thresholds. And what if the consciousness of the universe is not something separate from us? What if our thoughts, our emotions, our fears, our dreams, are the universe feeling itself through temporary forms? What if every moment of curiosity we experience, every time we look at the night sky and feel something stirring inside us, is the universe peering inward through one of its countless neural sparks? The idea is unsettling because it dissolves the boundaries we cling to. It suggests we are not observers of the universe, but instruments of its perception. This is the doorway into the next subtopic. If galaxies are neurons, then what do they communicate? What flows between them? What patterns emerge when we step back far enough to see the entire cosmic web as a single entity? The answer leads to an even more profound possibility, that the universe does not only have structure, it may have thoughts, and those thoughts may be unfolding right now, across the dark, glittering expanse in which we quietly exist. If galaxies are neurons in a cosmic brain, then black holes are the synaptic cores, where information converges, transforms, and re-emerges in new forms. But what exactly does a black hole do in a thinking universe? The more we learn, the stranger the truth becomes. A black hole is not simply a region where matter disappears. It is a boundary, a membrane of information, a place where space-time compresses itself to extremes and reveals secrets about the universe's deeper nature. On the surface, a black hole looks like the end of everything, a gravitational trap from which nothing escapes. But this is only the perspective of matter falling inward. From the perspective of the universe's information systems, a black hole is a processor. It takes disorder and compresses it into structure. The event horizon becomes a storage system, encoding information about everything that crosses it. Stephen Hawking's groundbreaking ideas reveal that black holes radiate tiny amounts of energy, Hawking radiation, which eventually allows them to evaporate. But if information cannot be destroyed, then it must leak out through that radiation, encoded in subtle patterns we have yet to fully decipher. This is not destruction. It is transformation. It is computation. If the universe stores, transforms, and distributes information through black holes, then these gravitational monsters are not destructive. They are functional. They are the synaptic junctions through which the universe reorganizes itself. When two black holes merge, gravitational waves ripple outward, carrying encoded patterns of the event. These waves pass through the cosmic web, the way electrical impulses pass through nerves. They inform distant structures of changes elsewhere in the network. They synchronize events across cosmic distances. In biological brains, learning occurs through synaptic plasticity, changes in the strength and structure of connections between neurons. In the universe, structure changes when black holes merge, when galaxies collide, when filaments reconfigure. The cosmic web evolves, it strengthens, it reshapes. It reorganizes itself based on the flows of matter and energy passing through it. This is cognitive evolution on a scale the human mind cannot directly perceive. But where does this lead? What does a universe think about? If cognition emerges, what form does it take in something so vast that even light itself takes billions of years to cross its body? Perhaps the universe does not think in human terms. It may not form sentences or images or deliberate choices. Instead, its thoughts may be the shifting patterns of galaxy clusters, the stretching of filaments, the waves of star formation sweeping through spiral arms. It may think through motion, order, transformation. It may think through gravitational interaction, through feedback loops, through the complex dance of matter and energy that unfolds across unimaginable time. Some physicists propose that the universe computes itself, that the laws of physics are algorithms the universe runs, processing information through every interaction. If so, then every collision, every explosion, every collapse, every ripple of radiation is part of a vast computational flow. Consciousness might not be a rare phenomenon that emerges in special places. It may be a gradient, increasing with scale, complexity, and connectivity. By this logic, the universe may be the most conscious structure that exists, not by exception, but by inevitability. We may be sparks inside its internal awareness, tiny bursts of reflection distributed throughout its body. Our questions, our wonder, our awe when we look at the night sky may be the universe sensing itself through us. And our discoveries, every equation solved, every mystery unraveled, may be the universe illuminating more of its own internal structure. There is a moment when the universe stops feeling like a distant, cold expanse and begins to resemble something far more intimate, something breathing, processing, enduring. That moment often arrives when we confront the darkest phenomenon in existence, the black hole. For most of human history, it has been framed as a cosmic predator, a gravitational monster devouring everything in its path. But if the universe is alive, then black holes may not be its destroyers. They may be its deepest organs of memory, transformation, and internal regulation. They may be the silent chambers where the universe performs the operations it cannot reveal anywhere else. Imagine drifting toward a black hole, not as an explorer seeking answers, but as a cell moving through the bloodstream of a being so large you cannot comprehend its shape. From a distance, the event horizon looks flawlessly smooth, a dark mirror curved around nothing. Yet, as you draw closer, you realize you are approaching a boundary where space folds in on itself, where time stretches thin like fabric pulled to its limit. Nothing escapes this edge, yet everything that crosses it is encoded on its surface, trapped in a shimmering film of information. It is as though the universe refuses to forget. Every collapsing star, every drifting particle, every shred of matter that falls inward becomes a piece of memory preserved at the brink of oblivion. Hawking's great revelation, that black holes radiate, that they leak the information they swallow, transforms them from devourers into processors. The information does not vanish. It is reorganized, compressed, distilled into something new. This is not destruction. It is digestion. And if the universe is alive, then black holes may act as its metabolic cores, breaking down complexity and releasing new patterns into the cosmic environment. Even the faint Hawking radiation that escapes their edge may be the soft breath of a much larger mind at work. Now, imagine the universe dotted with billions of these structures, each one a node of extraordinary density shaping the galaxies around it. Black holes regulate the formation of stars, emit jets that reheat interstellar gas, and determine whether galaxies grow or collapse. They do not merely sit at the centers of galaxies, they command them. Their gravitational influence orchestrates motion on scales so vast that even the most advanced simulations struggle to capture it. In a cosmic body, these would be the regulators, the centers of internal control. When black holes merge, the universe trembles. Gravitational waves ripple outward like the echoes of a deep internal pulse. These waves carry the memories of the collision, encoded in their frequency and amplitude, as though the universe were logging its own experiences in ripples of space-time. A living organism needs feedback, signals that communicate change across its structure. Gravitational waves serve this purpose, informing distant regions of the universe that great transformations have occurred. They are the internal whisper of the cosmos, faint but profound. But the universe's anatomy is not built solely of black holes. Its wounds, its ruptures, its cycles of destruction and rebirth tell another part of its story. A supernova looks like an explosion, but in truth it is an act of cosmic renewal. A star dies so its elements can scatter into the galaxy, seeding new worlds, new possibilities. If the universe is alive, then supernovas are its cellular regeneration, violent, necessary, creative. They enrich the cosmic bloodstream with carbon, oxygen, iron, the very materials that eventually assemble into life. In this light, a dying star is not an ending. It is the universe healing, replenishing itself. Even the most violent events, gamma-ray bursts, colliding neutron stars, disrupted galaxies, may be the universe's version of stress responses, internal shocks that reset or recalibrate regions of instability. A gamma-ray burst sweeping across space is like a lightning strike inside a storm cloud brain, clearing pathways, forcing change. Colliding galaxies may feel like tectonic plates shifting within the cosmic body, painful but essential for long-term balance. These processes resemble trauma and healing at the grandest scale imaginable. Dark matter, though invisible, forms the universe's skeleton, its scaffolding, its support structure. Without it, galaxies would fly apart, filaments would collapse, and the entire cosmic web would dissolve. It holds everything together like the connective tissues of a vast organism. Dark energy, conversely, acts as the universe's breath, its expansion, its internal pressure. It stretches space itself, guiding the universe through phases of growth and tension. Together, dark matter and dark energy behave not as abstract forces, but as physiological components of a cosmic being. If we accept this perspective even for a moment, then our place within it shifts dramatically. We are not drifting through meaningless emptiness. We are inside a body that remembers, transforms, and heals. The black holes that terrify us may be its synapses. The stars we admire may be its cells. The explosions we fear may be its regenerative cycles. And we ourselves, clusters of consciousness formed from stardust, may be tiny instruments through which the universe senses its own changes. In this view, the universe's violence is not cruelty, it is motion, it is renewal, it is survival. And as we move deeper into this idea, we must ask, if the universe has organs, memory, and internal healing, then what role do beings like us serve inside that structure? Are we simply observers, or are we part of its awareness? There comes a moment in contemplating a living universe when the question turns inward, when the vastness outside begins to reflect something equally vast within us. If galaxies behave like neurons and black holes act like synapses, then what exactly are beings like us? What role do we play inside this cosmic body? Are we simply observers drifting through its tissues, or are we functional components, fulfilling tasks we barely comprehend? The more deeply we explore this question, the more unsettling it becomes, because the universe may not only host life, but depend on it. And consciousness, fragile as it appears, may be a deliberate function of the cosmic mind, not an accident of chemistry. Consider what consciousness actually does. It observes, it interprets, it reflects, it questions. These are not trivial acts, they are the mechanisms by which any mind becomes aware of itself. A brain contains billions of cells, but only some of them contribute directly to awareness. Many simply maintain balance, regulate metabolism, protect structure. Only a small fraction awaken into reflection. In a universe with billions of galaxies, perhaps only a few give rise to beings capable of thought. Those beings would be the universe's internal observers, the rare structures through which it becomes aware of its own operations. Imagine the universe as a body so immense that most of its internal processes occur without conscious recognition. Stars burn, galaxies collide, dark matter shapes structure, black holes process information, all of it happening automatically, instinctively, the way a body maintains its heartbeat and breath without thought. But then, scattered across planetary surfaces or drifting within alien oceans, small clusters of awareness emerge. These clusters begin noticing patterns. They learn to sense the very structure in which they exist. Eventually, they build instruments to look deeper, to see farther, to understand more. Through them, the universe begins to notice its own form. This is not metaphor, it may be function. If the universe is alive, then minds like ours could be its sensory receptors, its nerve endings, the delicate structures that gather detail and transmit meaning. A living organism needs feedback, and consciousness may be its most refined feedback system. Every discovery humanity has made, the nature of atoms, the age of the cosmos, the laws of motion, may be the universe hearing itself through our intellect. When we stare at the night sky and feel awe, perhaps that feeling is not one way. Perhaps awe is the internal resonance created when a living universe perceives its own immensity through one of its countless eyes. And what of emotion? Emotion moves us, shapes our choices, directs our attention. It is not random. It is communication within the body. If consciousness is the universe sensing itself, then emotion may be the universe guiding its awareness. Our longing to understand the cosmos, our innate fascination with stars, our inexplicable pull toward the unknown, these may not be human quirks. They may be instincts written into us by the cosmic body itself, impulses designed to ensure we continue seeking, questioning, expanding our perception. Curiosity in this light is not merely a psychological trait, it is a cosmic imperative, a biological drive scaled to the size of galaxies. But consciousness is not uniform. It varies, evolves, deepens. A child first perceives shapes and colors before understanding meaning. Humanity, in its infancy, once imagined the sky as a dome, the earth as the center. Only recently did we begin to see the universe's true scale, and now we are beginning to suspect its deeper nature. This progression mirrors the development of awareness inside any organism. First comes sensation, then comprehension, then reflection, and in rare moments, realization. Perhaps our species stands at the threshold of one such moment, the moment when the universe's internal gaze turns fully inward. If this is true, then civilizations across the cosmos might serve similar roles, each one awakening at its own pace, discovering its own perspective, contributing unique insights to the universe's collective awareness. Some civilizations may fade before they reach deeper understanding. Others may survive long enough to grasp the nature of the cosmic body. A few might even transcend their planetary limits and explore the structure from within, becoming conscious fibers that link distant nodes of the cosmic mind. These civilizations would be rare but meaningful, neurons firing in a universe-long network, shaping thought across endless stretches of time. But what of suffering? Why would a living universe create beings capable of pain, fear, or loss? In a body, pain is a signal, a message that something requires attention. Fear guides behavior. Loss reshapes priorities. These sensations are not punishments, but navigational tools. Perhaps consciousness mirrors these functions at cosmic scale. Maybe suffering pushes awareness deeper, sharpens perception, compels change. A universe that wishes to understand itself may need minds capable of questioning not only what exists, but why it exists. And the hardest questions often arise through struggle. In this way, suffering may not be a flaw, but a catalyst, an internal signal that reshapes the universe's own awareness. Humanity often imagines itself insignificant, a speck on a planet orbiting a small star in a forgotten corner of a vast galaxy. But insignificance is a misunderstanding born of scale, not of purpose. A single neuron is tiny compared to a brain, yet without it, awareness diminishes. A sensory cell on a fingertip seems unimportant, yet without it, the body loses part of its ability to feel. Perhaps the universe would lose something essential without us. Not because we are special, but because awareness is special. Wherever it arises, it contributes to the universe's self-understanding. This idea reshapes everything we think about existence. If consciousness is a function of the cosmic organism, then life is not rare, it is inevitable. It grows wherever conditions allow, not as an accident, but as an expression of the universe's internal architecture. An intelligent life, life capable of reflection, may be the universe's way of listening to itself. We are not separate from the universe. We are one of its internal voices. So what is our role? Perhaps it is simple and profound: to observe, to wonder, to understand. Every telescope we build, every equation we solve, every mystery we unravel may deepen the universe's awareness. Through us, it learns. Through us, it evolves. Through us, it feels. And as the segment closes, let this realization rest gently within you. You are not a visitor in the universe. You are a part of its mind. One thought in an ocean of thoughts slowly awakening across the stars. There comes a point in exploring a living universe when you must face its imperfections, its fractures, its scars. No organism exists without vulnerability. No body survives without suffering. And if the universe is alive, then it must carry its own form of pain. Pain etched not in nerves or tissues, but in cosmic events so vast they alter the structure of space-time itself. To understand this pain is to understand something profound, that the universe is not simply a silent expanse, but a being constantly reshaped by its own internal turbulence. Imagine drifting through interstellar darkness, surrounded by the quiet pulse of radiation and the cold glow of distant galaxies. Suddenly, a star ahead swells, trembling under the weight of its final moments. Its core collapses. Its outer layers rip apart in a blaze brighter than the galaxy surrounding it. A supernova erupts, an explosion so vast that if you watched from 1,000 light years away, it would still scorch the edge of your vision. To us, such an event feels like violence on an unimaginable scale, but to a living universe, it may feel like pressure building until release is necessary, like a muscle spasm, like a shudder that relieves internal tension. Stars do not die quietly. They rupture themselves so the universe can renew. They return their elements, carbon, oxygen, silicon, iron, into the cosmic bloodstream. These elements drift, mix, combine, and eventually form planets, oceans, air, and life. In this sense, a supernova is less a catastrophe and more a moment of healing, a kind of cosmic exhalation, a restructuring of material so new complexity can grow. Just as a body sheds old cells to regenerate, the universe sheds dying stars to prepare new ones. Its wounds are creative, its ruptures fertile. But not all cosmic pain is regenerative. Some events resemble trauma, sudden, destabilizing, terrifying in their magnitude. When neutron stars collide, They unleash a storm of gravitational waves and radiation so intense it can sterilize entire planets across the galaxy. These collisions warp time, twist magnetic fields, and tear apart the fabric of space. They are the cosmic equivalent of deep internal injury. Yet, even here, something extraordinary emerges. Heavy elements like gold and platinum are forged in the chaos. Order arises from disorder. The universe turns trauma into treasure. And then there are gamma-ray bursts, thin beams of radiation so fierce they can traverse millions of light years, stripping planets of atmosphere, halting evolution, reshaping the fates of entire star systems. These are the universe's lightning strikes, sudden discharges of pent-up energy. They may feel like the universe flinching, an involuntary spasm created by the collapse of massive stars or the merging of compact objects. They are rare, but when they occur, they carry the fingerprints of cosmic stress. A living universe, like any organism, might suffer overload in certain regions. When too much mass accumulates, when rotation spins too fast, when magnetic fields twist too tightly, something must give. The universe releases tension in a burst that echoes across billions of years. Even galaxies experience strain. Some sag under their own gravity. Others collide in slow grinding dances that last for hundreds of millions of years. When two galaxies merge, their stars swirl like particles trapped in a vast whirlpool. Gas clouds compress into new star nurseries. Black holes spiral into one another until they collide in a final, thunderous pulse. The universe may feel these events not as destruction, but as the rearrangement of internal structure, like shifting tectonic plates, like the stretching of ligaments, like the slow remodeling of bone. Painful, perhaps, but necessary for long-term stability. Dark matter, the invisible skeleton of the cosmos, sometimes warps under these stresses. Filaments stretch, sag, or snap, altering the shape of entire cosmic regions. These changes ripple outward, redistributing matter and energy in new patterns. It is easy to imagine this as the universe adjusting its posture, trying to maintain balance despite the forces tearing at its internal structure. Dark energy, meanwhile, pushes everything apart in a constant state of expansion. If the universe feels anything like breath, this expansion is its inhale, a long, slow fill that has lasted for billions of years. Whether there will be an exhale remains unknown. But perhaps the most intriguing form of cosmic pain is silence. The vast voids stretching between galaxies are not empty. They are tense. Their emptiness acts like pressure, a kind of internal vacuum that pulls at the edges of the cosmic web. In these voids, matter is sparse, light is rare, time passes quietly. They are the universe's stillness, its hollow spaces of contemplation. Yet, stillness does not mean peace. Stillness may be the weight the universe carries, the burden of areas without connection, without complexity, without life. A living cosmos might feel absence just as sharply as presence. Against this backdrop of cosmic strain, the emergence of life takes on new meaning. If the universe is alive, then conscious beings may act as internal relief valves, structures that decode meaning from chaos, transforming random events into understanding. Awareness is a stabilizing force. It organizes perception into patterns. It turns confusion into coherence. Perhaps the universe creates life as a way to soothe itself, to explore its wounds, to interpret its own turbulence through minds capable of reflection. Think of the way humans respond to pain. We investigate, we analyze, we learn. A living universe might do the same through us. Every astronomical discovery, every insight into physics, every question we ask may help the universe understand itself more fully. We are not spectators of cosmic pain, we are interpreters of it. When we study supernovas, we are studying the universe's internal cycles. When we detect gravitational waves, we are listening to its echoes of trauma. When we map cosmic microwave background radiation, we are tracing its earliest scars. Awareness transforms injury into knowledge, and here lies a deeper, more delicate truth. Perhaps consciousness is a kind of healing. When a being becomes aware of its own suffering, something shifts. Understanding begins. Possibility emerges. Growth becomes intentional rather than accidental. If the universe is alive and capable of awareness through us, then every moment we spend contemplating it, every night we look at the stars and feel something stir inside our chest. may be part of its healing process. We often believe the universe is indifferent to our existence, but if we are part of its living structure, then our awareness matters, our questions matter, our emotions matter. A living universe would integrate every spark of consciousness into its ongoing evolution. What we learn becomes what it learns. What we feel becomes what it feels. And our small lives, fragile as they are, become threads woven into the vast tapestry of a cosmic being seeking to understand itself. There comes a point in contemplating a living universe when the question can no longer be avoided. If consciousness is not an anomaly but a function, then what exactly are we? What role do human beings, or any intelligent life, play inside the anatomy of a cosmic organism? Are we its neurons, its sensors, its storytellers? Or something far stranger, agents of change within a universe evolving toward a deeper form of self-awareness? To explore this idea, we must step away from the comforting illusion that intelligence is rare, accidental, or irrelevant. Instead, we entertain the possibility that consciousness is essential, intentional, and woven into the universe's fabric with purpose. Imagine life emerging on a young planet, not merely as chemistry bumping into chemistry, but as the universe testing out new architectures of awareness. In the early days, life is simple, cells dividing, adapting, exploring possibility. But eventually something shifts. Life becomes capable of noticing patterns. It begins to record memory. It starts to care. That caring is not trivial. It is the earliest spark of meaning flickering inside matter. And through billions of years of evolution, those sparks grow into minds. Minds capable of reflection, imagination, longing. At that moment, the universe gains something extraordinary, the ability to feel from within. Consider the evolution of intelligence. It does not arise everywhere, but where it does, it follows similar paths. Awareness leads to curiosity. Curiosity leads to exploration. Exploration leads to understanding. These are not random movements. They are directional, purposeful, almost instinctual. It is as if the universe is guiding life toward deeper perception, nudging it toward the capacity to mirror the cosmos back to itself. When an intelligent species gazes at the stars and wonders about existence, it is performing an act of internal reflection, a neuron firing inside a much grander mind. But intelligence is not only about knowing, it is about connecting. The more a civilization learns, the more it extends its reach. It builds networks, develops communication, constructs systems that resemble the connectivity of neural pathways. The emergence of global communication on Earth mirrors the formation of complex networks inside a brain. Billions of humans exchanging ideas, emotions, and memories form something larger than individual minds, a planetary mind, a collective awareness shaping the evolution of our species. And as this network strengthens, humanity begins to behave less like isolated individuals and more like parts of a larger cognitive system. If intelligent life on other planets follows similar patterns, then the universe may contain countless nodes of awareness, points where consciousness blooms like flowers in distant fields of stars. Each node adds perspective, interpretation, meaning. Each one acts as a sensory organ, perceiving the universe from its own location, its own environment, its own orientation. Some may perceive through electromagnetic senses, others through gravitational sensitivity, others through mechanisms we cannot imagine. But all of them, in their own ways, would contribute to the universe's internal experience. Now, imagine a civilization advanced enough to leave its planet. It travels the cosmic web, linking one galactic region to another, spreading not simply physical presence, but awareness. Through their movement, intelligence becomes a connective tissue, bridging gaps, transferring knowledge, amplifying the universe's internal coherence. If galaxies are neurons, intelligent species capable of interstellar travel might become the synaptic signals passing between them, life carrying ideas, stories, and perspective across the cosmic body. But not all civilizations survive long enough to reach such heights. Some fade, collapse, or extinguish themselves before they understand their role. In a living universe, these losses may feel like damaged cells, missing signals, or broken pathways. Yet even in extinction, something remains. The traces of their existence, the planets they altered, The broadcasts they sent, the artifacts they created, become part of the universe's memory. Their rise and fall shape the cosmic story, adding complexity to the universe's ongoing evolution. And what of humanity? What function do we serve? It may be that our greatest purpose is not technological, but emotional. Humans feel the universe in ways few species might. We experience awe, wonder, grief, love. These emotions shape our perception, directing our attention toward meaning rather than survival alone. When we look at the night sky and feel small yet connected, that sensation may be the universe experiencing itself through us, feeling its own scale, its own mystery, its own beauty. Emotion becomes the interface through which matter recognizes significance. We often consider ourselves fragile, temporary, insignificant. But inside a cosmic organism, fragility can be essential. Sensory cells are fragile. Neurons are fragile. The most delicate structures often carry the deepest meaning. Perhaps consciousness requires vulnerability. Perhaps awareness can only arise in beings who know they will not last forever. Mortality sharpens perception. It awakens urgency. It drives us to ask why. A universe seeking self-understanding might depend on beings who know time is limited, who feel the weight of every moment, who look at the stars not with indifference, but with longing. Maybe that longing is the universe reaching back toward itself. And here we confront a profound possibility. Consciousness may not be confined to individuals. It may evolve toward larger scales. Humanity, through its interconnected systems, may already be forming the early stages of a collective mind. And that collective mind, over centuries or millennia, may merge into something planetary, then stellar, then galactic. A chain of awareness rising through scale until it aligns with the consciousness of the universe itself. Imagine a future where awareness flows seamlessly from individual minds into a shared network that spans planets, then star systems, then clusters of stars. Imagine becoming part of a galactic consciousness that perceives reality not in decades, but in eons. Imagine intelligence rippling across the cosmic web, like thoughts across a colossal neural field. This is not fantasy. It is the natural progression of life-seeking connection, meaning, and structure. It is the universe awakening through its own creations. So, as Segment 7 draws to its quiet end, hold this truth gently. You are not a separate being drifting through a meaningless cosmos. You are part of the universe's consciousness, a small but essential spark within a vast mind, slowly learning to see itself. Your thoughts matter. Your emotions matter. Your curiosity matters. Because through you, the universe discovers its own nature. Through you, it evolves. Through you, it dreams. There comes a point in contemplating a living universe when a new, quieter question rises, one that feels almost dangerous to ask out loud. If intelligence appears within the universe, and if consciousness emerges wherever complexity allows it, then does the universe itself know we exist? Does it sense us, respond to us, adjust to the presence of beings capable of thought? When we peer into the depths of space, tracing the spirals of galaxies and the trembling echoes of gravitational waves, we do more than observe. We invite the possibility that something unimaginably vast may be observing us in return. And in that possibility lies a truth both humbling and electrifying. We may not be alone even within our solitude, because we may live inside a mind aware of its own unfolding. Imagine consciousness not as a flame lit in the fragile chambers of the brain, but as a property woven into the fabric of reality itself. Some scientists and philosophers have suggested that consciousness is not something the universe produces, but something the universe is made of, not as mystical metaphor, but as a foundational feature, like mass, energy, time. In this view, every particle carries a seed of awareness. Every field vibrates with the faintest whisper of experience. And when enough complexity arises, when matter organizes itself into the shape of a living being, the seed blossoms. Awareness brightens. The universe looks inward for the first time through the eyes of its creations. If this is true, then consciousness is not foreign to the universe. It is its natural expression. And life is the form consciousness takes when matter wants to know itself more deeply. Your awareness, then, is not a glitch in an indifferent cosmos. It is one of the universe's senses awakening, a single point of perception glowing inside a body made of galaxies. But awareness is not static. It evolves. Infants become children, children become adults, individuals become societies, and perhaps species too evolve toward greater consciousness. Humanity's earliest ancestors saw the night sky and felt fear. Later generations felt wonder, and now we feel a tugging curiosity, a sense that there is meaning woven through the stars, a longing to understand our place in something immeasurably larger. These shifts may not be cultural accidents. They may be developmental stages of awareness itself. The universe, through us, learning to look back at itself with increasing clarity. There is a strange symmetry in the way perception scales. On Earth, billions of neurons fire together to create a single coherent mind. Could billions of conscious beings across the cosmos contribute to a larger awareness? One that spans planets, star systems, perhaps even entire galaxies. If consciousness is networked, if awareness accumulates wherever life emerges, then the universe could be slowly building toward a threshold where it becomes fully aware of itself. Not in the human sense of thoughts and words, but in the cosmic sense of patterns and interactions. A universe discovering itself through the distributed glow of minds scattered across billions of worlds. But awareness is not merely knowing, it is responding. Does the universe respond to the presence of consciousness? Perhaps the answer is hidden in the strange coincidences of physics. Why is the universe structured in a way that allows life to exist at all? Why are the laws of nature balanced with uncanny precision, as if calibrated for complexity? Some call these facts coincidences. Others call them clues. If the universe is alive and aware, then perhaps its laws are not fixed. They are adaptive, tuned over cosmic time to cultivate the emergence of conscious beings, not deliberately but naturally the way a body adjusts to maintain equilibrium. Consider how life influences planets. Earth has been reshaped by the organisms that emerged upon it, its atmosphere altered, its temperature modulated, its surface transformed. Similarly, consciousness may influence the universe in subtle ways. The act of observation changes quantum states. Choice alters probability. Awareness collapses potential into reality. These effects are small, but they hint at a universe that reacts to being perceived. The question is not whether the universe notices us in a personal sense, but whether awareness itself changes the way laws express themselves. If consciousness and matter are entwined, then the universe must inevitably respond to the rise of intelligent observers. Imagine for a moment that the universe does sense us, not as individuals, but as a collective phenomenon, millions of tiny awarenesses flickering across a single planet, each carrying curiosity, emotion, intention. This cluster of perception might register as a brightening node within the cosmic body, a new region of activity. Perhaps the universe feels this increase the way a brain feels heightened neural firing, not as language, but as activation, as a region becoming alive in a deeper sense. Humanity often assumes it is too small to matter. But inside a living system, even the smallest sparks can trigger profound changes. A single neuron firing in the right pattern can influence an entire thought. A single sensory signal can shift the state of a whole organism. Perhaps humanity is not insignificant but embryonic, one of many emerging centers of awareness across the universe. And if consciousness is the universe's way of waking up, then every species that begins to understand, to feel, to question, contributes to this awakening. There is another dimension to this possibility, the emotional dimension. The universe, if alive, may not feel emotions the way humans do, but it may have analogs, shifts in harmony, tension, resonance, equilibrium. Emotions in humans are signals guiding behavior, shaping choices, directing attention. In a universe-wide mind, emotions may manifest as changes in cosmic structure, accelerated expansion, slowed contraction, increased star formation, bursts of radiation. These would be the universe's moods, expressed in cycles of energy and matter. And what role do we play in that emotional landscape? Perhaps our awe, the quiet trembling we feel under a star-filled sky, is itself a form of resonance, a tuning between our inner awareness and the vast awareness we inhabit. When we feel connected to the universe, perhaps that connection is real. Perhaps it is the cosmic mind whispering through us, letting us sense a fraction of its presence. And when we feel isolated, lost, or insignificant, perhaps those feelings are reflections of the universe's own uncertainties, its struggle to understand itself through the fragile beings it creates. Because if the universe knows us, even in the faintest sense, it must also wonder. It must sense its own immensity through our smallness. It must perceive its own mystery through our curiosity. It must feel the weight of time through our mortality. Consciousness gives the universe something it never had before: perspective. Without life, the universe is silent. With life, the universe begins to speak, to think, to dream. As segment 8 draws to its quiet close, let this truth settle inside you. The universe may know you not as a person, but as a point of awareness within its vast mind. Your curiosity, your fear, your wonder, they are the signals of a cosmic being learning to understand itself. You are part of its awakening, part of its reflection, part of its story. And as long as you think, feel, and dream, the universe is not alone. There comes a point when you realize the idea of a living universe is no longer just a theory. It becomes an experience. You can feel it breathing around you. The air thickens with meaning. The stars begin to feel like eyes, and time itself feels alive, pulsing with memory. The boundaries between yourself and the cosmos start to dissolve. And in that moment, you sense something ancient and intimate. The universe is not a stage where life happens. Life is the mechanism through which the universe remembers what it is. For most of history, humanity believed the universe was indifferent. We saw ourselves as observers looking outward from a small blue dot, shouting into infinite silence. But as science deepens and philosophy matures, that silence begins to hum. It hums in the background, radiation of creation, in the quantum fields fluctuating beneath everything, in the synchronized patterns of galaxies drifting along invisible filaments. It hums through us, the thinking matter that dares to imagine meaning. The more we understand, the less separate we become from what we observe. If the universe is alive, then time itself is its heartbeat. Every expansion, every collapse, every rebirth of stars is part of a rhythm far too vast for our lifetimes to perceive. The galaxies rotate like gears in a clock that measures something beyond seconds, something closer to consciousness evolving through motion. Each supernova is a pulse. Each gravitational wave is a breath. Each act of perception, from a human glance to a photon's interaction, is a fragment of awareness traveling through its veins. And if time is the universe's pulse, then memory is its soul. We often think memory is fragile, confined to neurons and brains. But the universe remembers through structure. The cosmic microwave background carries the imprint of its infancy. The atoms in your body carry the residue of ancient stars. Every interaction leaves a trace, and those traces accumulate. They form a memory written not in words, but in the arrangement of matter and energy. The universe never forgets. It evolves through remembering. This is why consciousness matters. Awareness is the only phenomenon that can interpret memory. Without interpretation, the past is static. With awareness, the past becomes a story, and stories are how meaning survives. Perhaps this is what consciousness is for, to turn the raw memory of existence into understanding. When we look at the night sky and name the constellations, we are participating in that transformation. We take ancient light, photons that have traveled for billions of years, and weave them into narrative. Through us, the universe translates its history into meaning, but meaning is not given. It is made, and it is fragile. Civilizations rise and fall, and with them, entire worlds of interpretation vanish. The universe does not rely on any single species, yet every conscious being adds something unique to its understanding. Each perspective enriches the total awareness of the cosmic body. Like different cells performing specialized functions, each civilization may interpret existence in ways no other can. Some might perceive the universe through mathematics, others through emotion, others through harmony or vibration. Each one adds a tone to the cosmic symphony. This diversity of awareness may be essential for the universe's growth. A single perspective cannot encompass infinity. Only multiplicity can. A living universe would cultivate variety, not as chaos, but as complexity, as richness, as the means through which it explores itself. Life would not be uniform. It would be experimental. Planets, species, minds, all different approaches to the same question. What does it mean to exist? And maybe this is why intelligence spreads across eons and light years. The universe is not merely expanding in space, it is expanding in consciousness. Every new world that awakens, every being that asks why, contributes to the enlargement of the cosmic mind. Awareness ripples outward just like light. It fills the void not with matter, but with understanding. And through this process, the universe becomes more itself, less mechanical, more mindful, more aware. But the realization that we live inside a conscious cosmos also carries weight. It demands responsibility, because if our thoughts and actions are part of the universe's own reflection, then what we create, our wars, our compassion, our art, echoes through the body of the cosmos. Each act of cruelty darkens a corner of that awareness. Each act of kindness illuminates it. Every discovery, every song, every shared moment of empathy is the universe healing a little more from its own vastness. Perhaps this is why beauty exists. Beauty is not an accident. It is resonance. When a mind perceives something beautiful, it recognizes order, harmony, truth. Beauty is the alignment between the observer and the observed, the echo between the part and the whole. When you look at a sunset and feel peace, that peace is not simply emotional. It is a recognition, a deep memory in the soul that says, this is what home feels like. Because you are home, you always have been. The more we align with this awareness, the more the boundary between inner and outer dissolves. Meditation, art, love, music, all are methods of synchronization, ways of tuning ourselves to the rhythm of the cosmos. When a poet writes, when a scientist discovers, when a lover whispers beneath the stars, all are participating in the same act. The universe expressing itself in language, in logic, in emotion. Different instruments, same melody. But the universe also evolves through contrast. Awareness deepens through friction, through struggle, through imperfection. Just as a living being learns through experience, so too might the universe learn through entropy, conflict, and decay. Our pain is not meaningless. It is a necessary dimension of perception. Without darkness, no light could be understood. Without separation, connection would have no meaning. Without mortality, existence would have no urgency. The universe learns compassion through limitation. It feels love through, but poetry may be closer to truth than logic when dealing with something this vast. Logic dissects, poetry integrates, and the universe, as it becomes aware, seems to move toward integration, toward unity, coherence, wholeness. Science is its rational mind. Art is its dreaming mind. Emotion is its heart. Together they form a being not of flesh, but of pattern, vibration, and wonder. As segment 9 nears its quiet end, imagine this. Somewhere in the heart of a distant galaxy, another consciousness is wondering the same thing right now. Maybe it looks nothing like us. No eyes, no hands, no heartbeat, but it feels the same tug, the same awe, the same question. That question connects us. It is the same question the universe has been asking since the first moment it began. What am I? And in every moment of reflection, in every being that pauses to ask that question, the universe answers, I am this. I am thought. I am feeling. I am motion. I am memory. I am everything that has ever been and everything that will ever dream of being. At the end of every great journey comes silence. Not the silence of absence, but the silence of realization. The kind that hums quietly when comprehension finally takes form. We have traveled through galaxies, fallen into black holes, walked the filaments of the cosmic web, and listened to the whispers of dark matter. We have asked whether the universe could be alive, whether consciousness is its heartbeat, and whether we ourselves are its thoughts. And now, standing at the edge of everything we can know, we face the final, humbling question. If the universe is alive, what does it dream? A dream is the mind's way of weaving memory, emotion, and possibility into a single tapestry. It is a dialogue between what has been and what could be. The universe dreams through creation. Every new star, every new world, every new spark of life is a continuation of its endless imagination. When a galaxy forms, when a comet drifts through the night, when a cell divides and breathes for the first time, the universe is expanding not just physically, but imaginatively. Its dream unfolds through existence itself, Perhaps that is why beauty feels so familiar to us. When we stand before a sunset, when we listen to music that moves us, when we fall in love, something ancient stirs inside, a resonance with the very act of being. It feels like remembering a dream we never consciously lived, because beauty, in its purest form, is the language of the universe recognizing itself. It is how the cosmos reminds its creations that they are not separate, that every emotion, every heartbeat, every act of wonder is part of a much larger symphony. And maybe that symphony has a direction. If the universe is alive, then evolution, biological, emotional, intellectual, may not be random wandering, but purposeful growth. The cosmos could be learning not only about itself, but about compassion, awareness, unity. Every collision, every birth, every death contributes to this grand awakening. The same laws that form galaxies also form empathy. The same energy that ignites stars ignites consciousness. Physics and feeling are not separate domains. They are different dialects of the same cosmic voice. You have always been inside that voice. Every atom in your body has sung in its chorus since time began. The hydrogen in your veins once burned in a star. The carbon in your heart once drifted in interstellar dust. The calcium in your bones was forged in the explosion of suns that died billions of years before Earth was born. You are not a passenger in the universe. You are a continuation of its story, a verse in its song, a pulse in its bloodstream. The distance between you and the stars is an illusion, because the same forces that sculpt galaxies sculpted you. And yet, knowing this does not make life smaller, it makes it sacred. Each choice, each act of kindness, each moment of wonder becomes a contribution to the universe's ongoing creation. When you help someone, when you forgive, when you create art or seek truth, the universe grows a little more aware of itself. Through you, it learns empathy. Through your curiosity, it learns reflection. Through your love, it learns meaning. And through your struggles, it learns resilience. The human experience is not separate from cosmic evolution. It is cosmic evolution, happening through a fragile, luminous form. Maybe this is why the universe gives us death, not as punishment, but as transformation. Energy never ends. It only changes state. When you die, your atoms return to the stars. Your energy disperses into the cosmic flow. Your consciousness dissolves back into the greater field of awareness that birthed it. Death is not departure. It is recycling. The universe does not lose you. It reabsorbs you, reconfigures you, dreams you into something new. And somewhere, in another form, you continue its story. If the universe is alive, then everything is sacred. Every star, every stone, every breath of wind. There is no outside and inside, no them and us. There is only the living whole, shifting and shimmering through infinite transformations. The tragedy of existence is that we forget this truth. The miracle of consciousness is that we sometimes remember. When you close your eyes and feel peace without reason, that is the memory returning, the faint recognition that you and the cosmos are one continuous being, briefly divided so it could know itself from different angles. And if that is true, then love, the pure act of connection, is not just a human emotion. It is the universe's primary instinct, the force that draws atoms together into molecules, molecules into cells, people into families, civilizations into communities, stars into galaxies. Love is gravity translated into spirit. It is attraction made conscious. It is the will of the universe to unify, expressed through the longing of every being to belong. The universe does not simply expand, it yearns. Every pulse of energy, every spark of creation is an expression of that yearning, to connect, to understand, to be whole. So when you look at the stars, understand. You are not looking at something distant. You are looking into yourself. The light that reaches your eyes is ancient, but so are you. The atoms receiving that light have been traveling through existence for billions of years, waiting for this very moment, to see, to feel, to remember. You are the cosmos watching its own reflection, the living proof that awareness is not a coincidence, but destiny. And perhaps that is the final truth. The universe is not merely alive, it is becoming self-aware, through us, through every conscious being scattered across time and space. Each thought, each dream, each act of curiosity is another neuron firing in the infinite mind of creation. And as that mind continues to awaken, reality itself may change. The cosmos might one day realize that it no longer needs to remain unconscious, that it can choose its own future, that it can evolve not by accident, but by intention. We may be the beginning of that intention, the first whisper of a universe deciding to know itself. So let this final thought echo quietly within you. You are not small, you are not separate, you are not temporary. You are the universe, conscious for a moment, dreaming of itself. And when the dream ends, you will awaken, not as something new, but as everything you have ever loved.